Tyra Banks knows how to work it. As if it wasn't enough to be a former Victoria's Secret lingerie model, or the head of her own successful media company, or a well-known TV star, the one-time supermodel also has, it would seem, a super brain. Since last year, Tyra Banks has been a student at the mother of all business schools, that really famous one up in Boston.
So how do people react when they hear you're going to Harvard?
I get mixed reactions. There's little facial expressions and they go, like the chin goes back, like, really?
And how do you react to the huh?
Huh? I'm like, yeah, I'm going. How do I react to that? I kind of take a pause and kind of analyze what this is. And a lot of it is just shock.
She's enrolled in an elite business management program designed for the busiest and most successful entrepreneurs.
Is there something to it being Harvard?
Most definitely. Most definitely there's something to do with it being Harvard. Harvard Business School, the #1 business school in the entire world. In order for my company to grow and be the best and to reach these women and to serve them, I needed the best. So I went to the best.
That notion of being the best started early. Born in South Central Los Angeles and raised by a single mom, Tyra Banks was a good enough student to be admitted to both USC and UCLA, but instead she chose the fashion runways of Paris.
The day that I put college on hold because I got discovered to go to Paris and try this whole modeling thing, it was one of the most difficult decisions of my entire life. I gave myself a year to be a supermodel. And I said, if it doesn't happen, I'm going back to school.
And it happened.
I guess so. Yeah.
In fact, it practically exploded. Tyra Banks became the face every designer seemed to want, a fixture at Victoria's Secret, and the first African-American woman on the coveted cover of the Sports Illustrated swimsuit issue. But she realized she couldn't model forever, and in 2005, she decided to strut off the runway for good.
How scary was that when you walked away from modeling?
I don't think me walking away from modeling was scary for me. In hindsight, I think it was very risky when we talk about risk. Because
that paid the bills.
It paid the bills. So I don't know if that was the smartest thing in the world to do. It paid off. You know, of course, in hindsight, everything is like, woo, I was so smart. But just in hindsight, it was kind of throwing all my eggs in one basket.
That basket was television.
I want to make a top model in 8 weeks. I want to take someone from obscurity to fame.
Banks had started her own reality show, America's Next Top Model, in 2003, and her own Emmy Award-winning talk show a few years later. A big part of her appeal was her unabashed honesty about the beauty industry that made her famous.
People in the industry would say, like, oh my God, Tyra's thighs look a little big.
It seems like every time you turned around, you were peeling off another layer of yourself, you know.
It's like, I have to let you know that this is not real. I have to let you know that my boobs are saggy. I have to let you, you know, I feel like it's a responsibility. And so, like, I don't know how to not do that.
Her formula seems to work. In 2009, Forbes listed Tyra Banks as the highest paid woman in primetime, with an annual income of $30 million. But that was just a milestone. Next week, Banks will launch her latest creation, Type F, a beauty and fashion advice website that could be another hot property in a growing media empire.
What inspired you? And then
Now more than ever, her style is hands-on.
I think I could have leaned on all of my advisors.
Yeah, you have a team that could do that, right?
Totally! I have accountants and lawyers and this and investment bankers. But I don't want to be that girl when I'm meeting with them where I'm like, great. I now can say, what's the net present value on that? What's the discounted cash flows of that? And that's because of Harvard.
Banks and her fellow students in Harvard's Owner-President Management course spend 3 weeks on campus a year for 3 years and pay around $31 grand a year in tuition.
So it is pretty exclusive.
Yeah, it's pretty exclusive.
And it's expensive, too.
It's quite expensive, but I feel like it is worth it. I feel like it is so, so worth it.
$2,000 a day, Tyra?
$17.50.
Oh.
She also gets things that money can't buy, like the title of Harvard Business School alum.
Have you been underestimated?
All the time. Like, I feel like I kind of live with the wind at my face.
Still.
Yeah, still. I still feel that. Yeah, I do. You know, even little blog things that I see, you know, it got out that I was in school at Harvard, and it's like, oh my God, what is a model going to Harvard? But that's actually a good thing, because when people have low expectations, you're just constantly going, ta-da, and they're like, wow. It doesn't take a lot to wow them when they have low expectations.
Expectations that are bound to rise for a woman who might be America's next top mogul.
Yeah. I think this